Am I the asshole for filing for child support after my child's father bought a house? My ex and I met when we were 13 and 14. We dated all through high school and until we were 23 and 24 years old. We went through these off and on phases, which always ended the same way. The kids and I starting over while he disappeared to do his thing. Neither of us had good home lives as kids. We were what was familiar to the other, so it was very easy to fall back into the same pattern of bullshit every time he came crawling back. Which was always when I was moving on and bettering my life. When I got pregnant with our third child, I was 22 now, is when I decided I couldn't do this anymore. Enough was enough, and I really started to move on. He was already into drugs and alcohol, really deep at this point, and he wasn't even close to the person he once was. But still, I tried to live by two rules. 1. What would I want him to do for me if it was me in this situation? And 2. If he doesn't want to be a dad, I will not force him or allow him to say he did anything for me. We lived like this for years. He didn't ask to see the kids, and I didn't ask him to. He has never paid for anything for them. Eventually, he went to prison. I had started school right before he went away, and for the first time in my life wasn't working full-time, and was able to get medical coverage for my kids through the government. In order to do so, they ordered he pay so much to the state. Fast forward to 2 years ago. Our kids were then 8, 12, and 13. When he got out of prison, we had a custody hearing. At the time of the hearing, I had finished my classes, and I was now working full-time and carrying insurance for the kids. The judge ordered that his payment for the kids' insurance be routed to me to pay for their insurance instead of wherever it goes when you are on assistance. This change took literal months to happen. I got a 7 months worth of back pay checks where it took so long for the changeover to happen, then a few more here and there. That slowly turned to nothing. Mind you, these were insurance checks based on a zero income, so they were $25 a week, not much. At the beginning of this year, I called the child support agency asking what was going on. Our kids are now 10, 14, and 15. I was told since he now has income and is ordered to pay insurance, we had to file a new case. So I did. They made me fully aware this would take quite some time as they are really behind on cases. I said okay. He was made aware in court that he would be paying something for the children. Last week, 7 months later, we got our first set of paperwork in the mail. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, he and his wife had just bought a house, and he is mad that he now may have to pay child support, and that could affect his ability to afford his $500,000 house, as well as telling me he and his wife have a new baby, and there are a lot of expenses with that I just wouldn't understand because they are doing it alone. They don't have any help. I refiled way before he had applied for a loan. I had no idea he was planning to buy a house as we do not talk. When he communicates with me, it is through his wife, and even that is rare. He has seen our oldest child one time this year. He has not offered to pay a single bill for any appointments, clothing, school supplies. My son is in football, and my youngest in competition cheer and gymnastics, and he has not once offered to help with any of these expenses. He is not putting time or money into these children. Also, we have yet to go to mediation for this, so we have no idea what he will be asked to pay, and I'm not looking to get by on his dime. Just a little bit of help. But I have never asked him to pay anything in the 15 years we have been parenting together, either, so am I the asshole for asking now? Update. First, thank you to those of you who were kind and had good advice. I also really appreciate those of you who shared stories, as it helped me feel better about fucking him over. His words, not mine. I spoke with my mom's attorney yesterday. He said that in my state, I can absolutely get back support as long as he knew he had children and was actively not paying for caring for them. That means in our situation, it may be hard for me to get back support from our youngest until he was 4, but he will work on it. Not really a huge deal. I'll take what I can get. My ex signed the birth certificate of our older 2 children. We were not together when I had my youngest. We slept together one time. Ugh, I know. And I knew the type of parent he was at that point, so I never called him and told him. His brother absolutely told him, but he never called me to confirm until the day he was born when he showed up at the hospital unannounced. That being said, we did not sign a birth certificate, and we didn't do a DNA test until he was 4 years old. The attorney also contacted Child Support Office. They sent a few papers for me to fill out. I faxed them in this morning, and now I am waiting on a call. For those of you saying, I should have married him before we ever had kids, seriously, I'm glad I didn't. I would have been stuck married to this man for so long as he was MIA most of the time. Also where I live, the father of the child has no legal rights to the children, even if he signed their birth certificate, unless he is awarded rights by a judge, or you were married. I think in most cases, this law is completely unfair, but in mine, it protected my children from him picking them up while on a bender and mad at me and taking off with them. Together, he and his wife have 7 children. My 3, she has 2 that she does not see or pay for either. He has 1 that was legally adopted, so no longer is his. He never showed up for court, they stripped his legal rights. I will update when I have something else worth adding. Again, thank all of you who are so supportive. This has been a struggle for me for years because I never wanted to make it hard for him to survive. But you all are right. He has never taken any responsibility, and he is more than stable now, so it is only fair to me and my children. Thank you so much. Update 2. He must have been served his final papers for mediation, which is the 2nd of November. They said they have to give him time to get all of his paperwork together. Okay, but he called and asked to get the kids for the weekend 2 weeks in a row. I allowed them to go, as at this point it isn't going to change the amount of parenting time he has, as it's been documented all year. He then picked my son for a 3rd weekend, and while he was there alone was asking him questions about if I have a boyfriend. Does he help me with bills if I do? I have someone I spend time with. We are not officially together and my children only know him as a friend. What I spend money on, how I pay bills, how much I spend on things for him and his siblings, etc. He then proceeded to ask if they were willing to give him a bedroom if he would move in with them. Yeah, you heard that right. All this money on a house and my kids don't even have rooms. They have their room. Their child together has a room. And she has a room for herself for her time. And they are considering turning the basement into another room. So my children are sleeping on the couch when they visit. I decided not to confront him about any of this. I just documented it for the attorney and passed it on. I'll update again when we actually go to mediation, or if he pulls any craziness before then. Update 3. I apologize for the long wait on an update. We did go to mediation 2 times, which has gone nowhere and continues to go nowhere. I am frustrated. Extremely, extremely frustrated. Everyone I know has seemed to have no issues getting child support established. I have been told that when we went to court originally, I agreed to the establishment amount of support, $25 a week, and I had to now wait so long to request a change in support. Whatever. We go into mediation, and he is full of excuses as to why he can't afford an increase in child support payments, and things continue to get pushed since we can't agree. He won't send the kids $10 for a movie ticket with friends. Meanwhile, she is paying her son's father $650 a month in child support, and she's sending her son money on Cash App just to return her messages. $200 was sent to him last week with a message saying, "Are you getting my texts?" But I'm always told they are broke, struggling, and can't afford anything. I asked that he split gymnastics costs. He can't. I guess I have kept my mouth shut so long and held it all in, I'm about to blow a damn fuse. So here I am, after all this time venting, because I have tried repeatedly to be the bigger person, but I'm just angry. He has not seen my kids since Christmas. I asked for a court date and said screw mediation after the last failed attempt. I still have no court date. I seriously do not understand what the actual F is taking so long. Is it always this hard? The man clearly has no interest in being a dad, but because he and his wife made a stupid financial decision, my kids get the short end of the stick? I don't know what to even do anymore. Any advice would be appreciated.